All right, I wanted to go over a few examples for those of you who weren't here today on the homework about the binomial theorem in lieu of the quiz that we took today. Um, and each of you will make that up sometime Monday or Tuesday. I just wanted to go through a couple examples though. Um, First of all, with number one, it says to write down the first three and the last two terms of the following binomial expansions and do not simplify your answers. All right, so we'll go ahead and take a look at B here. First of all, notice that the power is 15. Okay, so this would be using the 15th row of Pascal's triangle, but we're not going to write all those out. We'll use the combinations. Now, we know the coefficients are going to be 1 and then 15 because the second one is always the row number. But then for the third term, we're going to have to do 15 choose 2. Remember, this is 15 choose 1, or I'm sorry, 15 choose 0, 15 choose 1. Now we're at 15 choose 2. Okay. Then we'll put ... our last two. Okay, at the last two, we're up to 15 choose 14, which we could write as 15 choose 14, or it's just 15, and then also 1 at the end. Okay, so that's our last two terms. Now let's deal with A. Okay, A is 3x. So we'll do this in blue. In our first term, we have 3x, and the entire thing is raised to the 15th power. Then we have 3x to the 14th, 3x to the 13th. And then at the end, we'll have just a 3x to the first power, and there will not be any 3x's in the final term. So then if we look at our 2 over x, there will not be any 2 over x's in the first term. There will be a 2 over x to the first power in the second term. There will be a 2 over x squared in the third term. And then if we go all the way to the end, we're up to 2 over x to the 14th. And 2 over x to the 15th is our last term. Now notice in each of these, the powers of A and B will always add up to 15 because that is the power we're going up to. Okay, so 14 plus 1 is 15, 13 plus 2 is 15, 1 plus 14 is 15, and obviously the last one is just 15. All right, so we don't need to simplify, that's it. Now, here it says, without simplifying, write down the sixth term of 2x plus 5 to the 15th. We'll look at letter A here, okay? So if you recall, our general term, t sub r plus 1, it was written as because we have n choose r, and then a is always to the n minus r power, and b is always to the r power. So if we want the sixth term, that means we're going to do n is 15, so 15 choose 5. R would be 5 in this case. B, which was the 5, is going to be to the 5th power, and A, which was our 2x, is going to be to the 15 minus 5 power, or the 10th power, okay? Now it says do not simplify, just to write it down, so that would be our final answer. As one other example, let's go ahead and look at letter D. We want the ninth term of 2x squared minus 1 over x to the 21st power. Alright, so t sub 9 is going to be 21, choose 8. And then we have a, which is 2x squared. We have b, which is 1 over x. The 1 over x is going to be to the r power, which in this case is 8. Again, 1 less than the term number. And then 21 minus 8 is 13. So that's going to be the power that 2x squared is raised to. And that would be our final answer for D. Next, I already did A. Write down the general term of the expansion of x plus b to the 7th. And then part B, though, says find b given that the coefficient of x to the 4th is negative 280. Essentially, they just told us that one of the terms of this expansion is going to be negative 280 x to the 4th. So, if we're looking at this general form, general term of the expansion, n choose r is going to be 7, choose something, I'll leave that blank for now. X, we want to be to the 4th power. So x has to be to the 4th, and that means b has to be to whatever we'll add with 4 to get 7. So obviously that's 3, and that tells us what the r is for our combination as well. So now we can solve this. Since both of these have an x to the 4th, we can cancel those out, because really all we're concerned with is this coefficient, negative 280, and that's going to equal 7 choose 3 b cubed. Okay? 7 choose 3, 7 factorial over 4 factorial, 3 factorial. Alright, so this cancels out and leaves us 7 times 6 times 5. 3 factorial is 6, so 7 times 5 is 35. So 35b cubed is negative 280. If you solve this for b, you get b equal to a negative 2. Divide by 35 and take the cube root.